teacher. Can you hear me?
Yes. And you, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. How are you doing today, Juliana?
I am very good. And you, teacher?
Well, quite well. What are you doing? Oh, what were you doing after the lesson, after this session?
Okay. I was doing some guides for my class in the E1 level.
Okay. When do you have classes? A1.
A1 is tomorrow at 4 p.m. and Friday at 4 p.m. too. But I am doing the guides of all of this month, so I
You
want
are,
to do it.
okay.
I want to, yeah.
Are you preparing all the material for this month?
Yeah, I am preparing all the material. Yeah, thanks.
Okay. Okay. And when you prepare the material, you prepare the topics, the grammar topics and exercises. Yes?
Yeah, that's right. And the tests,
Ah,
also the tests.
okay. You have to you have to you have to grade the test or you do the test online.
I do the tests online. It's
Oh,
easier.
okay. And how do you grade? You use 1, 2, 3, or I don't know, letters, or what do you use to grade?
Okay, the exam have two parts, the writing and reading, and the listening and speaking. And that exam I have to do it this all Mondays. So the grammar tests I use the forms of Google,
Yes.
and I put 25 questions, and the other 25 points is an exposition and a listening.
And how do you do that? How do you do the exposition?
Okay, I tell to my children, uh, I don't know, Mariana, make a exposition or a presentation about how you can improve your speaking, for example, or Luna, can you make a presentation about dogs?
Okay,
And after
but
that,
yes, continue.
after that, they make the presentation, and I try to say it, okay, improve your speaking in that, or I need more information, things like that.
Okay, but in order to make the presentation, they have to use some tips, some topics. For example,
Yeah,
you are using present simple, so you have to explain to them that they have to make the presentation based on that topic
mhm.
and using the present tense. Yes?
Yeah, that's true. That's right.
Okay, and what about the listening? How do you assess or evaluate the listening?
Okay, I try to search tales in A1 level, and they only have to listen it, and told me what they understand and write a little bit about this topic or this tale.
Okay. Do you use some multiple questions or open questions?
But I
What?
use but.
Okay. Uh, and for example, a student who is in A1 level, how long does it take to get that level? How many hours?
Mm, to pass to the A2 level, that is just question. Okay, it's 6 months and 5 hours per week.
6 months, 5 hours per week.
Mhm.
So 6 hours per week,
5
20
hours.
5 hours,
20 per
20
20
per
per
month,
month. Mhm.
20 per month and 6 months, 120 hours. Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. And do you have the opportunity to look at the advance of the students in those 6 months?
Yeah, I can do it. And the good thing is that I work, my co-worker is native of,
Okay.
so she told me, okay, that girl need to improve the pronunciation, or that girl need to improve the listening. So I learned with she.
Where is she from? The native people, the native person.
I don't remember. I know that she is living right now in Turkey, but the nationality, I didn't remember, sorry.
But her mother language, her first language is English.
Yeah, my boss told me that.
Uh,
That she is an active person, his first language is English.
okay, and she's a teacher or
Yeah, she's a teacher, but she teach in the C1 and C2 level.
okay, I was like, that's the most appropriate because she has the level, no?
Mhm.
Has the level, so she can speak a lot and she can speak fast and that's what the students from C1 needs.
Mhm.
But for example, when you are in A1 or A2, you need a person who can explain, introduce some things in the basic way, no? In the basic way.
Yeah.
Uh, and when it's different to be a teacher and to be a native person, no? Who is not a teacher. When you are a teacher, you can explain, you can design some materials in order to explain the topics. But a native person can speak and speak and speak all the time, and that's what we need in those C1, C2 levels. Okay, so it's quite interesting, Juliana. But is she in Turkey now?
Yeah.
Okay. And how do you communicate? How do you talk to her?
By WhatsApp, I text her, but I have to check the hour because it's 8 hours, I think, of difference. So when she's sleeping, I am awake. So I need to check that. But
But you,
have
well,
class with the children sometimes together.
okay. And do you have the opportunity to talk to her?
A little, because she's a very busy person and she has her own class, so it's a little difficult. But I try to speak with her when I can, or where she can.
Oh, yes, that's a good opportunity, and you have to take advantage of that opportunity, of that chance. Because, for example, I am a Colombian teacher, and I never I will never speak like a native person. The pronunciation is quite different. You are going to listen to many people,
Mhm.
Colombia, Venezuela, Argentina, Spain, Spanish people, whose first language is Spanish. So the pronunciation of English is not as similar as a native person. It's quite different. No? It's quite different. And
Yeah.
the pace, the rhythm is different because they speak too fast. They
Mhm.
speak too fast. They pronounce some words, some sounds different as we do because we can we can't physically pronounce some sounds as
Mhm.
they can't pronounce some Spanish sounds. Yes, do you understand?
Yeah. Yeah, I can understand you. And I remember that when I started the B2 level, I met a old man. He's a grandpa, and he speaks English. He's a native person. He speaks English, and it was so difficult for me because I didn't understand a lot of words that he said because the pronunciation of this old person is so different and a young person and a child. Oof, a child is so difficult.
Yes, it happens the same here in Colombia.
Yeah.
For example, you listen to a man from Cartagena, from Barranquilla, speaking Spanish, and it's completely different than a man from Bogota, from Pasto.
Mm-hmm.
Every person speaks differently, and taking into account the sound, the region, the city where they are from, they can speak and they can pronounce different. But it's very important to listen to those persons
Mm-hmm.
and to listen to different persons, different people. For example, you don't have to listen to all the time American English. No, you have
Yeah.
to listen to British English. You have to listen to people who come from, I don't know, Africa, Turkey, who speak English, because you have to uh, you have to learn to identify the pronunciation, to identify the sounds of each region, because it's quite important. So it's important, it's very important to listen to all kind of people from different regions. Then, for example, for instance, if you are looking for videos
Mm-hmm.
to use in your lessons, you can use American English, British English, or Australian English. No,
Mm-hmm.
it's different. It's a little different because you are going to improve your listening and your students' listening if you do that. Okay.
Yeah, I tried, but British English is so difficult for me.
Uh,
I love it. I think it sounds so special, so elegant. But when I listen a woman, specifically a woman speaking British English, oh my goodness. A man is easier for me. But a woman, I don't know why, but it's so difficult.
for us as Colombian people, it's easier to understand American English, no? Because
Yeah.
we have had in contact with
Mm-hmm.
series, movies, music from that country, no? From America, from the United States. But
Mm-hmm.
it's more difficult to understand British people because yes, the pronunciation. I agree with you. The pronunciation is more elegant. It's very cool. I
Mm-hmm.
think it's very cool to hear a man or a woman speaking in British English. It's quite elegant. For example, when you watch a movie, I don't know, like James Bond or something like that, with the spies, they speak quite cool, very cool, and it's very cool to listen to that kind of people speaking. But for us, it's more difficult to understand them because we are not used to listen to British people. But it's a good exercise that we have to do when we are learning a language like English. We have to listen to British people. Sometimes we are not going to understand anything. And that's right. We are not going to understand anything because it happens to me. Sometimes I'm not focused on the movie or I'm not focused on the series I am watching, and I don't understand a bit. Yes, I
Yeah.
don't understand anything. But I have to try to listen to the man or the person who is talking again and again, and I start to understand and I focus. I have to focus. on what he or she is speaking.
Yeah, I can understand that. For me, here I live with my parents, and the computer is in the kitchen. So my mom is do the dishes. My dad is I don't know. They make a lot of noise, so I cannot focus in the audio, and I feel so bad. And I think, oh my goodness, that is not for me.
Yes, that happens too much. For example, if you are watching a series or a movie in English,
Yeah.
in English, sometimes you have to use subtitles, no? Sometimes.
Yeah.
But it's better to avoid them. But sometimes you have to use subtitles in order to compare what you are listening to, what you are reading. Okay, but it's better to avoid the subtitles and only listening, because you are in a higher level. No, you are in a higher level. You have to try to understand everything without subtitles. Okay, but subtitles are useful. Sometimes subtitles are useful because sometimes the language is and the language, not only the English by itself, but the language. For example, if you are watching a series related or a movie related to technology, they are using a vocabulary related to technology, and it's very specific, no?
Yeah.
It's very it's quite different than the normal or the regular language we use, no? So sometimes it's important to use subtitles. Okay, Juliana, now we are going to make an exercise. I'm going to share my screen with you. This one, let me see. One. Here it is. We're going to start with an exercise.
Okay.
This one. But wait a minute. This one. Okay, here we have some phrases or sentences which are popular English idioms. Popular English idioms.
Okay, okay.
Yes, it's like in Spanish, we say like refranes. Refranes.
Okay, okay.
Okay, now we are going to try to match, or we are going to try to complete each one of these English idioms. For example, number 1, the early bird. Number 2, don't judge a book. Number 3, give him an inch. Number 4, all that glitters. Number 5, a leopard. Number 6, easier said. Number 7, out of sight. And number 8, his bark is. And here we have the options. For example, let's start with the number 1, the early bird, and look at the options. What do you think is the correct option in order to complete this English idiom? The early bird.
Okay, let me see, please. Please wait a moment. Cover all of mine. I think that is catch the worm.
Yes, that's right. The early bird catches the worm, no?
Worm is a lombriz. Is a...
Yes, it's like a
Okay.
picture. Look at the picture.
Yeah.
The early bird, the early because the sun is just starting to set. The bird, and here it is the worm. This is the worm, no? Okay, and in Spanish, you know the idiom in Spanish? What idiom is that?
What idiom? That is the means?
Yes, in Spanish.
Okay. La ave madrugadora atrapa la lombriz, pero en español yo lo diría al que madruga Dios le ayuda.
Yes, that's right. Okay, it's the same meaning, but with different words, no?
Yeah.
The meaning is the same, but in Spanish we use some words In English, they use other words. They say
Yeah.
the early bird catches the worm.
Mhm.
Okay, number 2, don't judge a book,
By its cover, I think.
yes, by its cover. And how do you explain this idiom in English?
Okay, in English, it should be don't judge a person or a thing only by what you see. Eh, I
Yeah.
think that is a good explication. I don't know.
Yes, that's right. It's okay. Don't judge a people or a person or a man or I don't know. Don't judge a car only
Mhm.
by its external appearance,
Yeah.
no? External appearance. Okay, number 3, give him an inch. And what happened?
And he, sorry, and he'll take a mile
Yes, that's right. That's correct.
in
Sometimes we
the
need
finger, right? Is we say in Spanish pulgada, right? I don't
in,
know.
yes, inch,
Ah,
yeah.
okay, yeah, it's the
It's a
finger. Okay,
measurement. It's a measure in Spanish pulgada, no?
okay.
Remember that in English, okay, there are different, according to the countries,
Mhm,
they have different measurements, medidas, measurements.
mhm.
For example, here in Colombia, we don't talk about inch, we talk
No,
about centimeters, no?
yeah.
We talk about centimeters, meters, but in Europe and in the United States, they don't talk about centimeters, they talk about inches, no? For
Mhm.
example, when they are going to say the height of a person, they don't say, oh, my height is 1 meter and 75 centimeters. No, they don't say that. They say 6 inches, for example. Okay, they say
Mhm.
the measurement, the height in inches, and it is useful for all of that. Okay, and now what does it mean, that idiom? Give him an inch and he'll take a mile. What do
Mhm.
you suppose is the meaning of
Okay,
this idiom?
I suppose that that means eh, if you give some person one thing, he will uh, take more. I think is a rude person, a very rude person, but I don't know. I think I am take it so literally.
Okay, and in Spanish, what is that idiom in Spanish?
I don't know. I never
You
hear
don't know?
that. No.
In Spanish, there is a similar idiom, which is ¿cómo es? Si le dan, no le puedan, ¿cómo es? No le dan la mano, no le dan la mano, sino que toman
Ay, le coge el codo, sí.
eso, sí, algo así, así es. Estamos
Sí.
con mucho espíritu, así es. Por eso
Ajá.
that's the meaning of that idiom. Give him an inch and he'll take a mile, no?
Mhm.
Okay, number 4, all that glitters.
Sorry, teacher, what is a glitter?
Glitters is something shine. For
Mm,
example, the sun shines a lot, no? Entonces, something
okay.
that glitters is something that shines.
Okay. Alde. Ah, it's not
So
gold.
that's a very good key in order to understand the idiom and complete the sentence.
Yeah. I think that is not gold.
Yes, that's right.
And
All that
yeah,
glitters is not gold. In Spanish, what is that meaning in Spanish?
no todo lo
It's-
que brilla es oro. But
yeah,
I have a question.
yeah.
Glitters, I think that word was sparkles or bright.
Yes,
Is a
yes,
synonymous, right?
yes.
My
Shines,
goodness.
shines, or sparkles, or glitters is the same. Those are synonyms.
Okay. Oh my goodness, I didn't know that word.
Yes. Okay, all that glitters is not gold. And number 5, a leopard. This is very easy.
Are you sure? Catch the worm? Ah, no. Sorry. Eso ya lo dije.
Yeah.
The leopard. My goodness, I am very bad in these popular English idioms. The leopard. A leopard. By its color. Please give me a moment.
Don't worry.
I lose the answer. Sorry. Thanks so much. My goodness, I never hear that before. Or I think that. I use this.
But what do you suppose is the correct one?
Worse than his bite, I think. But I don't know.
A leopard
Worse
worse than his
than
bite?
his bite.
No.
No. What is it?
In this case, is a leopard can change its spots. You know what is spots?
No, I don't. I will search that word in the dictionary.
You know how a leopard looks like?
Ah, okay, yeah. I didn't know that word is yeah. Okay.
Spot. Spot,
But
for
I didn't.
example, this word is used in other cases. For example, when you are drinking something
Uh-huh.
and you drop something on your shoe, that's a spot.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
a leopard has spots, and a leopard can change its spots. What does it mean, that idiom?
That means that a person or people cannot change their naturally. Ya, naturaleza, espérame, la busco. That nature or that personality, I think.
Yes, it's related to the nature of people or the nature of things, no?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone has a nature, has a way of being
Mm-hmm.
that you hardly ever are going to change, no?
Yeah.
Hardly ever are going to change. So a leopard can change its spots. A people who is rude, a person who is rude can change his way of being. And a person who
Okay.
is nice, who is polite, can change its way of being. It doesn't happen to, it doesn't happen. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Number 6, look at the options.
But that popular sentence eh, is in Spanish? No, there
In
is no
Spanish,
similar
hmm,
sentence in Spanish, right?
Spanish, I don't remember now. But wait a minute. Wait, because I I I I have the I have to look at here. Let me see. Mhm. Ah, okay. Here we have something like that. Something. Uh, well, oh my God, what happened with this one? This one. In Spanish, there is a similar one who is, aunque el mono se viste de
Ah,
seda, mono se queda. No?
claro, sí.
Yes.
I didn't remember that
Yes.
sentence. Ay, claro. Ok.
Okay.
Easier said es fácil decir que.
It's easier said.
It's only, I suppose, okay? I don't know this sentence. No,
Yes.
sorry, I confused that. Give me a moment, I'm so sorry. Down? I don't know.
Down, yes.
Yeah,
Easier
okay,
said
okay,
than
yeah,
done.
easy.
Easier said than done. What does it mean, that idiom?
Literally, I think that is easier. Say that is ready or something is ready and or is easy to doing something. I think that is it. I
Okay.
don't know if you can understand me.
It's easier to say something. It's easier
Yeah, say
to
something
speak.
that doing.
Exactly. It's easier to speak, to say something than to do it. No?
Ah, es como aquí decir, es más fácil decirlo que hacerlo.
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
One
I love this game.
to do it or to say something than to do it. That's the explanation of that idiom. Okay, number 7.
Out of sync. My
Out of
grandma have
sight.
a site. Sorry, my grandma have a sentence of this. Okay, chances, but
Right? No.
no. I read it. By this cover of mine. Out of mind, I think.
Out of mind.
Out.
Yes.
Sorry.
Out
Yeah.
of sight, out of mind. Out of sight, out of mind. And there is an idiom in Spanish.
Ojos que no ven, corazón que no siente.
That's the correct one in Spanish. Out of sight, out of mind. Okay. But in English, if we want to translate that idiom into Spanish, it's very, very different. Out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah,
Okay.
but it also is easier to understand that.
Yes. Okay, at first sight, you don't understand, but when you think a little, out of sight, out of mind. Okay, that's correct. That's similar to Spanish. And the last one, his bark is.
Yeah, worse than his bite.
Okay, it's worse than his bite. And what is the idiom in Spanish?
Let me think about it, please.
You know what is bark? That's the key point of this idiom.
Is the sound of the dog makes. Okay. Okay, yeah. I don't remember how I can say that. It's like perro que ladra no muerde, creo.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, yeah.
Spanish, we say perro que ladra no muerde. In English, they say his bark is worse than his bite. Okay.
Okay. Wow, it's a little bit different, but I can understand that right now.
Yes, it's a little different because they don't say anything about the dog.
Yeah.
But we can understand that we are talking about the dog because they say bark. Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Now we are going to continue with this one.
Okay.
Here, in English, we have two verbs, do and make, which are similar, no? Taking into account the meaning, no? Taking into account the meaning, do and make is the same, no? Taking into account the meaning, do and make is the same. But there are some difference between do and make. Okay? We have to understand, we have to study, we have to learn when we use do and when we use make. because there are specific cases or specific cases to use each one of them. No? So, for example, when do you use do? You use do for works, jobs, and tasks.
Okay.
For instance, do the housework, do your homework, do a good job, do your chores. For non-specific activities, do something, do nothing, do everything, do anything. In order to replace a verb when it's obvious. So, for example, instead of saying comb your hair, no, peinar su cabello, you can say do your hair.
Okay, yeah.
Instead of saying wash the dishes, you can say do the dishes.
Yeah.
Okay? Instead of saying present or take the exam, you can say do the exam. Okay?
Yeah.
Instead of saying wash the laundry, you can say do the laundry. Okay? Those are the cases when we use do. And now, when we use make, when we are preparing food, drink, or meals, we say make. Make a cake, make breakfast, make dinner, make a cup of coffee. When we are saying the material or the origin of a product, the material or the origin of a product, for example, made of gold. I don't know, the necklace is made of gold. Made from grapes. The cake is made from grapes. Made in China, the traditional one, made in China.
Yeah.
Made by me, no? When we are going to say that I create something made by me. Make is used in order to produce a reaction, no? For example, make your eyes water, no?
Okay.
Your eyes water, make you happy, no? Make you sleepy, make you smile, no? In Spanish, we use too much, no? Hacerlo feliz, hacerlo llorar, hacerlo, okay? We use make. In order to talk about plans and decisions, make arrangements, make a decision, make a choice, make a plan. We don't do arrangements, we don't do decisions, we don't do choices, we don't do plans. We make arrangements, make plans, make projects, okay? And when we speak and when we produce specific sounds, we use make. Make a noise, make a comment, make a speech. For example, when you say to your students, you have to make a speech, a 3 minutes speech. For example, one of your tasks, your English task is make a speech, make a 3 minutes speech, okay? Make a suggestion, okay? These are the examples or the occasions, the times when we use do versus make. But instead of learning this chart, it's easier to learn the expression when we use do and make. It's easier. Okay. So let's see, let's do some exercises and you're going to understand. For example, this one. We have here the options. And all the options are the same, not do or make, do or make. For example, a mistake. You do a mistake or you make a mistake?
I think you make.
Yes, that's right. You make a mistake. No? You understand the expression make a mistake, no?
Yeah.
Okay. You do the shopping or you make the shopping?
Do the shopping.
Yes, that's right. You do the shopping. You go to the supermarket and you do the shopping. You do an exam or you make an exam?
That is the problem. Let me think. What sounds better? You do an exam? You do, I think you do, because to make is create, right?
Yes, that's right. Do an exam? Okay, that's interesting. If you are going to present an exam, you are going to do an exam, no? But if you are the teacher, And
I
you're
make
going
an
to
exam.
design, you're
Mm-hmm.
going to design an exam, you can say, I'm going to make an exam, okay? Because you are going to create it, you are going to design it, okay? That's a good point. Okay, make friends or do friends?
I think is make.
Yes, make friends. Do the ironing or make the ironing?
Ironing, I can say that word in Spanish, is planchar.
Yes, that's right.
Oh my goodness, I need to write that word.
The iron is the object,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but that you use to iron it.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I think you do the ironing.
Yes, that's correct. Do the ironing. You do sports or you make sports?
Um, do
Do sports, that's right. You do money or make money?
make.
Yes, that's good. When you earn money, you
Mm-hmm.
get your salary, you are making money, no? You are
Mm-hmm.
not doing money, you are making money. Okay, you do a noise or you make a noise?
Make a noise.
Yes, you make a noise. You do a phone call or you make a phone call?
That is a good question. You do, I think. Okay, it's you make. Your face say that is make. Why is
Yes,
make?
make?
Yeah, why?
Ah, that's a good question because I don't have a clear answer about that.
Don't
You have to
worry.
say-
It
Yeah,
happens
you have to
to
say
me
make a
all
phone
the
call.
time.
Yes, there are some cases which are very difficult to explain because there is not an official
Yeah.
explanation, official reason.
Yeah, it's only the
Yes,
grammar here.
yes,
It's
that's
only the grammar. I said that to my students. It's
yes,
only the grammar that is the rule.
yes, that's the
Okay.
rule. And the last one, do it well or make it well.
Do, I think.
Yes, do
Fluency.
it well.
Do.
So, as I said before, it's easier to learn that when
Mhm.
we are going to say cometer un error, we have to say make a mistake. That's all.
Yeah.
Que vamos a hacer las compras, do the shopping. Okay? It's
Yeah.
easier to learn the sentence, the expression, than start thinking, oh my God, that's a job, that's an official, and work or
Uh-huh. Unofficial. Yeah.
this or this. No, it's better to learn the expressions. Do
Yeah.
the shopping, do an exam, make friends, do the iron, do sports, make money, make noise,
Mhm.
make phone call, do it well. And you are going to learn it by heart, and it's better. It's better to do that. Okay,
Yeah.
and we're going to do this other one, and it's the
That
same.
is difficult. That is more difficult, right?
A little.
Yeah, I know it.
Do
Okay.
a mess or make a mess?
Make.
Make a mess. And you understand the expression make a mess?
In Spanish, I can say it in
In
Spanish.
English, you have to explain it in English.
Okay, in English is like to. Mm, please give me a moment.
You can use examples, real examples, or examples from the real life.
It's like when your child play with his toys, with their toys. They make a mess on all the floor.
Okay, that's right. Very
It's the only example that I can think.
yes. Sometimes it's difficult to explain something, but we can make or we can give examples, and
Yeah.
that's quite useful. Do the housework or make the housework?
Do.
Do, yes. Do the housework. Do exercise or make exercise?
Do.
To exercise.
Mhm.
We're going to prepare a cake. So you're going to do or make a cake?
Make.
Make.
That
Sometimes
is much easier.
when you are studying this topic, sometimes they say, okay, when you are going to do something with your hands, you use
Mhm.
make. You use make. Okay. For example,
But
going to prepare a food, a meal, you are going to do a handcraft. Now, for example, a handcraft, you are going to make a necklace, you're going to make, okay? Sometimes you find those kind of explanations. Okay, you do a visit or you make a visit?
that is a very good question.
Yes.
Do or make? I think it's do, but I'm not sure.
Okay, let's see. Do a visit.
Yeah?
Let me
See? Okay, you will check.
do a
Okay,
course or make a course?
it depends. I suppose that is do,
Do
because make is that create a course, right?
okay, when you're going to take the course,
Mm-hmm.
you are a student and you're going to take the course, you are going to do a course.
Yeah, okay.
Trip, you make a trip or you do a trip?
I'm not sure, but I have the feeling that is make, but I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's make a trip. Remember that
Oh,
when we make plans, make
Ah, yeah.
projects,
Yeah, you told me that.
okay, make a trip. Okay, this one, do the washing up or make the washing up?
Do.
Okay, good. Do the washing up. Do fun of someone or make fun of someone?
I think is make.
Make fun of someone, yes. For example, when you are going to say that hace reír a alguien, entonces you
Yeah.
make him smile, no? For
Yeah.
example, you usually make your mother smile, no? You usually make your father smile. No? They make fun of someone. And the last one, do a suggestion or make a suggestion.
I read make.
Yes, make a suggestion. No, make a
Check.
suggestion. That's right. I'm going to share
Check.
because I have, okay, that's right. It's make a visit.
Okay, perfect.
Yes, it's make a visit. Because here, the verb is visit, no? Visit.
Okay, yeah.
So when
It's
you're
like
going
a
to
plan.
replace the verb, yes.
Ah, ok. 97, ¿cómo así? ¿Por qué 97 y no 100?
Because you
A mistake.
make a mistake. And the system
Mhm.
decreases the full grade, the full note. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, that's right. And we're going to do the last one, which is this one is no, this one no, because we want to use sentences, complete sentences. Let me see this one without timer. This is a full sentence where we are going to use do or make. I don't
Make.
really know how to cook, but I can certainly do or make an omelette.
Make.
Yes, it's the same, no?
Yeah. It's like create.
Yeah, but here we have full sentence, complete
Yeah.
sentence. He's always at home. I wonder what he for a living. Maybe he is a house husband.
Do.
Okay,
Does. Sorry,
good.
does.
Does. In that case, does. He does for a living, no? When we
Yeah.
say, for example, I'm going to ask you a question. What do you do for a living, Juliana?
I am a teacher.
Okay. When I ask you that question, what do you do for a living? Is what do you do? What do you do? What is your job?
Yeah.
Where do you work? What do you do?
Mhm.
Okay. If I the dishes, can you do the
Ah,
cooking?
sorry. I think that you was speaking the other topic. Do. Sorry.
Yeah. If I do the dishes, no?
Uh-huh.
Here
Can
we
you do the cooking?
replace do, we replace wash for
Mm-hmm.
do. If I do the dishes.
Teacher, I have a question. Is a question the teacher to other teacher to another teacher. I have a problem with a student. She cannot learn the last question was Ay, ¿cómo se dice esa parte? Conditionals. She have
Conditional?
a really big problem with conditionals. Yeah, with if, with all the conditionals. We are studying the conditionals. She can't, sorry, understand the zero conditional is the most easier, but the other, she usually confuse the times, the grammatical times. So I don't know, we saw videos, I make a lot of guides, but I don't know how I can help her to understand that topic. It's so difficult for us.
But the problem, the trouble is only with the zero conditional
No,
or
with
with all?
all, without the zero, zero is so easier for for
Yes.
she.
Okay. Okay. But I understand her because the conditional is
A little bit difficult, yeah. The conditionals are horrible.
it's a little it's difficult. Okay, the topic is difficult, and it's more difficult to try to teach that topic
Yeah.
because you have to it's you have to teach uh, grammar and emphasize on grammar.
And she
Saying
doesn't like
that
the grammar.
I'm
She,
emphasizing grammar, for example, if the first sentence is in present, the
yeah,
second one is in future.
with
So,
wheels.
so, so, so difficult to teach them that topic because it's focused on grammar. We have to focus on grammar, and we have to say,
Yeah.
okay, here is present and here is future. And of course, here is very easy because you are going to use only will. That's all.
Uh-huh.
But here, you have to take into account if you are talking about you, because the verb
Mm-hmm.
is only go, for example.
Mm-hmm.
But if you are using here or you are talking about he, it's not go,
Mm-hmm.
it's goes.
Goes.
And if it's negative, you have to use doesn't
Doesn't not go.
go here.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's a negative but with the second person, you have to say don't go.
Mm-hmm.
It's there are some topics in English, for example, conditional, for example, passive voice,
Mm.
for
That is
example,
so difficult for me. Mm-hmm.
reported speech that for me as teacher is quite boring to try to teach those topics
Yeah, I can understand that.
because we can't talk too much. We have to emphasize. We have to teach the grammar rules. We have to remember when we use do, when we use does, when we use don't, when we use doesn't, when we add es to the verb, when we don't use es to the verb. It's
Mm.
not
Yeah.
it's not funny.
No. And the point of the class with she is that speak. She asks for speak a lot of in class. So when is grammar, on normally is silence. I speak, I teach, I explain that word, that point, but she only writes and after repeat or try to create sentence with this topic, but it's not as a conversation.
Yes.
So
It's a topic which is not very nice in
mhm,
order to teach. In order to have a speaking class, it's
yeah,
quite difficult. It's quite
yeah.
difficult. I don't know. Maybe you cannot try to make sentences and to make full sentence. You only have to complete sentence. For example, if you go to the part, what happens? What will happen? No?
Mhm.
For example, you are going to state some sentence like this. What will happen if?
I try it. I make a
And she has
guide.
to make a sentence like this.
Yeah, I tried. I make a lot of question with what if you, I don't know, meet the
We
dinosaurs. So she
Right.
tried. Mhm.
For example, what will happen if you win the lottery?
Yeah,
And
questions like that. I tried.
she has to answer, she has to complete the sentence.
Yeah.
But now
It will take my
you
time.
have, okay. But maybe you have to watch some videos, but there are not many videos, not many funny or nice
No.
videos. It's only grammar.
Yeah.
Yes, it's difficult to teach those topics.
Yeah. And the answer is do.
Uh,
Sorry. Thanks, teacher.
this is a good one. I would like to lend you the $100 you need, but I have very little money. Will 40 do or make? What do you think?
Oh my goodness, that is so hard. This is so hard.
This is a good one.
Yeah, this is a good one. Me gustaría prestarte los 100 que necesitas, pero pero tengo muy poco dinero, serían 40. Te serviría. I feel, okay, I'm not sure. I think it's make.
Make.
Because we are
Oh,
talking do.
oh,
Okay, be enough is do. Okay, thanks.
okay.
I didn't know that. Make?
Yes, make a suggestion, no? When you are going to make a suggestion, why don't you do yourself a favor or make yourself a favor? When you are going to do a favor or make a favor, what do you use in order to say that? Do a favor or make a favor?
You told me that we saw that in the graphic. Oh my goodness. Do or make a favor. Make?
No.
No? Okay. Do a favor. Hey.
Do a favor. For example, the expression, hazme un favor is do me a favor.
Okay, do me a favor.
Do me a favor. Okay.
Okay, vale.
This expression is very common in English. Just do your best or just make your best and finish that job.
Do? No.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes, do your best. Do your best es hacerlo mejor, ¿no? Do your best. And effort, you do an effort or you make an effort. I'm sure you can finish the job.
Si haces un esfuerzo.
Yes.
Please give me a moment, teacher. Someone is calling me right now.
Okay, don't worry.
Give me a moment. ¿Quién será? Esta vaina sí está rara. Hola. I won't answer the phone. Okay, if you do or make, I feel so bad in this topic. I think that I was better than the I. Make an effort? No.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, yes, make an effort, make a suggestion, make an effort.
Yeah, I compare those. I think is if it's make a suggestion, it should be make an effort.
For example, what you do to your students is do feedback or make feedback. What do you think?
Yeah, wait, good question. Do feedback or make a feedback? Do?
No, make.
Why?
Make feedback. It's like make suggestions, like make comments. You don't do comments, you make comments.
That's right.
Okay. Okay, and this one, we are going to finish with this one. John sucks ship at times. He does me mad, or he makes me mad when he refuses to tip waiters, even when the service is very good.
Okay, I think it's makes.
Yes, that's right. He makes
But
me mad.
yeah,
He makes me-
porque da un efecto. But I
Yeah.
have a question. John
But-
is so cheap.
Cheap. You don't know what is cheap?
Barato.
Oh, yes, cheap is but it has another meaning, and we're going to figure out. Look at this. John is so cheap at times. He makes me mad when he refuses to tip waiters. You know what is tip waiters?
Yeah, the waiters of a restaurant, I think, right?
But tip,
The advisement.
advisement, no. Tip waiters is when you give money to the waiter.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The tip,
I confused the word, so sorry. Yeah, tip de propina.
yes. Okay, so what is so cheap?
Okay, yes. Okay, I can understand that. He gives
He doesn't give
little.
money. He
Yeah,
doesn't give
doesn't
tips
give
to
tip.
waiters because he's so cheap.
Okay. O sea que se puede usar como tacaño.
Yes, that's right. There is another one to say tacaño is stingy.
Yeah, I know that word. I was learning that word with my students, so I didn't know this.
But you can use this expression, so cheap, so stingy at times.
Okay,
Okay,
okay, thanks.
okay, Juliana, so that's all for today. We
Yeah.
have finished our lesson for today, and it was a pleasure to be with you. It was very interesting to share with you from teacher to teacher. I hope you can continue, you can keep on preparing your material for your next lessons, okay?
Yeah, we'll continue.
Okay, Juliana, so it was a pleasure. Bye-bye. See
Bye
you
bye. See you next time.
next time. Bye-bye.